Hi, everyone. So we're learning today a little about textures in non-fiction reading. Now, you probably know a lot of these textures from fourth grade, at least I hope you. And if you forgot, it's okay. We're going to refresh your memory on some key features. You might even learn some new ones. So first, before I start, tell you about nonfiction. Here it is an example of a nonfiction book. This is from my son's room. And I just want to look at one, how cool nonfiction is. I mean, you're seeing lots of pictures, captions, headings, subheadings, some cool fonts, charts and graphs, and just really cool things that is different fiction. There are a ton of tech features, books like these. Here's a science I want to show you that I'm so glad and thankful for these text features because I feel like without these, science and this like really hard scientific academic kind of technical stuff would be really hard to understand without all these features and the subheadings, how they broke everything down. So I'm so thankful for these text features for sure. Okay, so what we're going to do is notice text features and ask ourselves why are text features so important in non-gen reading. So the definition is that features are providing us information in nonfiction. It helps us to understand reading by giving us clues to what the main idea is all about. Okay, if you look at that chart on the right hand side of the slide, it says informational text features. Why? Us important information. Help us to understand text. And I'll be honest, they're fun. They're just really fun to read these little blocks of information. Now, there are lots of things that we're going to go over, and you to have a gist of why these text features are important and what they are. May show up on it is, you never know. There is an option slide deck below. If you want to pause my video and check that out, go for it, or you can go straight to the next slide. So here are a couple of text features that are pretty common that I definitely want you to know. Maps. They're obviously a visual image of geography. How does it help you? It helps you to see the location of where things are from your reading. So if, for example, in this science book, they were talking about a piece of technology, they gave me a map and said, dude, this is where it's happening. That would really help my brain to understand where it's happening, or even in all of the world. The second text feature that's really important, especially in scientific text and harder kind of text, are diagrams. So, and cutaways. So diagrams and cutaways are just basically an illustration of an object, but closer up. So let's say, for example, I'm reading something about science and they give me an illustration of the inside of the brain and maybe zoom in on a part. That is so helpful because they'll label the parts. And that's important. Instead of just like writing it out, that picture, the labeling really helps my brain. So it helps me to understand harder topics by visualizing. Okay? All right, table of contents is awesome. It's usually in the very front part of the book. Let's say, for example, in this example, it says, I want to learn about sound waves. Instead of reading every single page, all I need to do is go to chapter 2, sound waves, 14, boom. It helps me find information faster, so I'm not wasting so much time. This is really important when I start to do some research and writing. Another important text feature are your headings and your subheadings. So the heading, like the green arrow on the top, are the titles basically, right? And usually if it's a heading, it's the main idea. So for example, this heading says lions rule. Well, I think the main idea is going to be about how lions are really important to that environment. Now, a subheading are the parts underneath. Like this one says women's work. Okay, so it's probably talking about women. lions, female lions. This one says Lions Play School. It's probably talking about the little lions, right? So just by knowing this subheading, I can tell what the main idea is and why it's important, okay? So a heading tells me about what the section's all about, and that's basically your main idea. And a subheading tells about that section alone. Sorry, a heading tells about what the whole article is all about. And then the subheading, like these two, tell what that section's all about. Okay, let's go to the next part. Okay, so another set of text features are called insets and sidebars. So inset, it's set inside of the main article, or I call it a sidebar because it's off to the side. It's just additional information that you can find in a box at the side of the page. So for example, this is a sidebar that gives me like fun facts about the giant Statue of Liberty. And it just gives me additional information. It's not inside the main part of the text. And those are fun to read because you learn like additional facts. I love bullets, asterisks, and stars because they help me to organize information. So right here, instead of writing it all the way in complete sentences, they just bulleted the ideas right there. These holidays may honor, and then they tell us what they would honor. So those bullets really help. And it's nice to even take notes like that. So I'm going to encourage you, when you're doing your notes, please use these bullets or asterisks or even a star, because it's going to help you organize your information. All right, and then timelines, they are information that expand on the text. It's always put in chronological order. That means time order. And that's really nice because when you read through what's happening in the dates, you can kind of start making inferences and figuring out like, well, it started here and I think I know why it changed to here. So that's always really good. The other one is charts and graphs. This is an organized gathering of information in a visual. So this chart is a bar graph, or a graph is a bar graph. It's about rainfall in October. This is really nice because you can start to see trends and where it's happening. So you can look at it right away and see that this place is where it's happening the most. Now, I think this is so much better than actually writing it out, although you could probably write it out in words too, but right away you can tell without having to read a lot of text. So that's the power of a graph, or like a pie chart, or a circle graph, or things like that. It really kind of takes information or numbers and it makes it visual for the reader. I love a good glossary. A glossary is just basically a list of words and their definition. It's usually at the back of the book. Now, I will say there are some sidebars. We talked about sidebars, right? There are some sidebars that give you vocabulary words, and I love those too. So it's not exactly a glossary. It's kind of like a sidebar vocabulary. But a glossary is more like a whole list of words from the entire book at the very back of the book. How does it help you? Obviously, you understand the meaning of the word, which is very necessary in nonfiction. Captions and labels, super important. Whenever you look at a picture, always read the caption. So the captions, the description of the picture, sometimes it's also giving us like brand new facts. So never ever skip a caption, ever. Also labels, super important, with diagrams and things like that. Captions and labels, they help to explain pictures, images, and photographs.
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay, so we've got the next text feature is called an index. It's an alphabetical list of important subjects in the text. It's located in the back of your book. So let's take a look at this example. Let's say you wanted to research about mountains. All you need to do is flip to the back of your book, find the word, it's in alphabetical order, mountains, and that page number is all you need to go to. That way, you're not having to spend hours reading the entire book just to find your information on mountains. Again, it helps us to find information quicker. and also super important for research, which we will be doing later, so pay attention to these text features. Types of print. Oh, I love, love, love types of print. And I even actually tried to do this in my own notes. But bold words, like the ones that are really thick, capitals, like they're in all caps, different color. Italics is that squiggly, like slanted. Usually when it's in italics, it means it's the title of something or it's naming something. If something is underlined, it could be important, or highlighted. So these types of print are so cool because they keep us interested. Like if you look right here, I love how you can tell from far away even how there's some words in red, there's some words in green. The title is in this like really cool font, um, like right here. And I love all of that. So why do they do that? Well, different types of print help us to understand different ideas. Sorry about that. There we go. Different ideas. And they usually do that only on things that are very, very important. Obviously, you wouldn't want to highlight everything, then it loses its power. You don't want to put everything in color because then nothing stands out. So they are very selective. And as a reader, you got to notice that. Like, why did they highlight that? Why did they put that in bold? Must be important. And then this is a text feature you may not know. It's called a deck heading. So just like in baseball, you might say like, oh, this player or this batter is on deck. Same thing with a deck heading text feature. It's kind of not the main part, but it is on deck so you can see what it's about. The purpose of a deck heading is it gives you a little heads up about what you're going to be reading about. It's almost like the introduction in a way, but in a really short way. So this is a little deck heading right there, and then this is all the main stuff. And I want to show you in this article right here. This is called Lions versus Humans. That's the heading or title. And then we have Running Out of Space, which is a subheading. And then we have this part right here. Lions are disappearing from the wild at an alarming rate. What can be done to help them? That is a deck heading. Because it's like one or two sentences, it just tells me what the entire article is all about. Now this section right here is just kind of like your intro, then you get into your first subheading. Okay, now I'm going to be honest and tell you, if you read this deck heading, you read those subheadings, and you read that title, there is no way you'll ever mess up main idea. No way, because those tell you the main idea. This is the main idea of the entire article, and kind of so is that. And then this, Running Out of Space, is the main idea of just that section. So if your teacher ever says, hey, what's the main idea? Really look at those text features, and that's a way to kind of work smarter, not harder. All right, friends, go ahead and watch this video to understand text features a little bit more. And you can pause this video to do that. And then once you are ready to go, after that, you're going to be practicing text features using this link. And then if you are ready, you're going to practice this. When you're doing this practice, make sure you're out of present mode so you can like really see all the directions. And you're basically moving all of these yellow text features and matching it over here. And then I have provided an answer key for you to check your answers. And then when you're done with that, make sure you go back into your student checklist and make sure you check over everything for today's learning. Good luck.